In the midst of laughter and camaraderie, the group of friends found themselves engulfed in the darkness of night once again. This time, they chose to play hide and seek inside the very house that had become a nexus of their fears. Amid the sound of hurried footsteps and the muffled giggles of those hiding, one friend, Alex, found himself in an upper room, peering into the depths of a closet. With a nervous gulp, he squeezed himself into the confined space. The air was musty, and the silence was so thick it felt tangible. From the moment he shut the closet door, an icy tingle crawled up Alex's spine. The confined space felt constricting, the walls closing in as if they were alive. A bead of sweat trickled down his forehead as his eyes adjusted to the inky darkness within. He couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone. As the minutes stretched on, time seemed to warp and bend around him. Alex strained his ears, listening intently for any signs of movement. The soft hush of his own breath seemed to echo, punctuated by the occasional creak of the old house. Panic swelled within him, and he had to remind himself that it was just a game, a harmless thrill among friends. But then something shifted. He felt it before he saw it, an indistinct presence lurking in the shadows alongside him. He couldn't put his finger on it, but an unease gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. It was as though the very atmosphere of the closet had changed, and now held a dark secret that refused to remain hidden. Alex's heart hammered in his chest as a chill swept over him. His gaze darted around the confined space, his eyes straining to pierce the darkness. There was nothing he could see, but every instinct screamed that he wasn't alone in that closet. He pressed himself against the back wall, his breath coming in shallow gasps. The fear was like a physical weight suffocating him. He couldn't shake the certainty that something was watching him, studying him with malevolent intent. With each passing second, the tension tightened its grip. Alex's mind raced, imagining twisted forms and sinister faces in the shadows. The darkness seemed to pulse, and he was certain he could feel the malevolence radiating from it. He had to get out. Driven by an overwhelming urge to escape, Alex's body moved before his mind could catch up. His fingers fumbled for the doorknob, his heart pounding in his ears. And then as the door swung open, he could sense it, the presence that had shared that confined space with him, its intentions a malicious enigma. The dread reached its crescendo, and he couldn't bear it any longer. A primal instinct overpowered him, and he threw himself out of the closet, tumbling to the ground in a heap. The impact jarred his bones, but he hardly noticed the pain. His eyes darted around the room, searching for the unseen tormentor. There was nothing. No sinister figure, no monstrous presence. Just the same dimly lit room that he had left behind. The shadows seemed to dance around him, mocking his terror. The others found him on the floor, shaken and pale, struggling to catch his breath. He tried to explain what he had felt, the suffocating darkness, the malevolent presence. But his words came out in fragments, distorted by his fear. His friends offered skeptical reassurances, attributing his experience to an overactive imagination fueled by the eerie ambience of the old house. But Alex knew deep down that he had felt something inexplicable in that closet, an unseen malevolence that had shared the darkness with him. From that night on, the closet remained an unspoken specter in their gatherings, a lingering reminder that sometimes the terrors we cannot see are the ones that grip us the tightest.